Welcome my dear listeners, stay with me to get the spoilers first. And subscribe to the channel. Let's find out what's going to happen on The Young and the Restless. Nick dead in cold blood? If Matt's evil plan works, Adam might have to take the blame for the murder. The latest Young and the Restless spoilers are taking the Vegas nightmare to a whole new level of darkness. Nick Newman is in bad shape and Adam is trying to keep him standing long enough to save Sharon and Noah. Matt Clark is watching everything happen through hidden cameras. The current spoiler trail says that Adam lets Nick take drugs to get through withdrawal during the rescue. Nick overdoses at the warehouse just as Sharon and Noah are found. And Matt sees everything on camera while a possible tainted batch makes the collapse look planned instead of accidental. That kind of situation can quickly turn a rescue mission into a murder charge. Matt doesn't even have to kill Nick to win, which makes this even more messed up. The spoilers show him already acting like a man who has written the end of the story. Earlier reports say that Matt tied up Sharon and Noah and was going to kill them. The Friday report says that he told them Adam and Nick would be there soon, then forced them into an empty petrol station and kept control of the situation. In other words, Matt has already set up a trap where one wrong move could lead to death. That's why Adam's part in this story is so hard to understand. He sees Nick falling apart and he knows the mission can't wait for him to fully recover. The preview for Monday says that Adam actually tells Nick to take pills because Nick's withdrawal symptoms are making it hard for him to focus on the rescue. Adam's reasoning is dark but makes sense. Nick needs to be able to help if they are going after Matt. The problem is that Matt can use that moment as a weapon later. If Nick falls down on camera after taking what Adam told him to, Matt can use that as proof of guilt. Nick is not being written as innocent in the most straightforward way. He knows exactly what he's doing to his body. And the longer he goes without help, the worse it gets. Nick is shaky, upset, and having a harder and harder time staying centered as shown by the spoilers and recaps. That doesn't mean he's the real bad guy. Matt is still the one who set the trap, and the preview for Monday even suggests that tainted drugs may have been planted. This means that Nick's collapse could have been part of a plan rather than just an overdose. But Nick's own decisions give Matt some wiggle room. That's what makes the story so sad. It's not as simple as that. It is a man under attack who makes bad decisions, and a predator takes advantage of every opening. Nick and Adam are already in danger by the time they get to the warehouse. Nick dies from an overdose just as Sharon and Noah are found in the Monday preview. Adam has to act quickly while everyone is still in a dangerous situation. Matt is watching from a distance while the rescue and the overdose happen at the same time and in the same place. The victim falls, the witnesses can't get away, and the villain has a recording of everything. That's the perfect storm for soap opera storytelling. If Matt wants to make Adam look like the murderer, this is when he gets the evidence he needs. The real horror is that the scene can mean two things at once. Adam is the brother in the room who is trying to keep Nick alive while also freeing Sharon and Noah. Anyone who watches later, especially if Matt edits the story with his surveillance footage, might think that Adam was the one who pushed Nick into drugs, enabled him, or stood by while things went wrong. That's how a frame job works in Y&R. Not with one big lie but with a series of events that look bad when put together by someone who wants to hurt you. And Matt is in the perfect place to do that kind of harm. The Monday preview says he watches the whole thing through hidden cameras, which means he is more than just a physical threat. He is a witness with proof. He can see Nick fall. He can see how Adam reacts. He can hear the fear. He can put the sequence together and shape it into any story he wants. Surveillance is the perfect weapon for him if he wants to kill Nick in cold blood and make Adam the killer because it lets him pretend to be sure. He doesn't have to show that Adam really killed Nick. He just needs to convince everyone that it's true. This is where the Matt's evil scheme part of the story gets really creepy. He isn't just trying to hurt Nick. He wants the aftermath to be poisonous as well. Matt can blame the overdose if Nick dies. If Adam was the one who told Nick to take the pills, Matt can turn that into carelessness, recklessness, or something much worse. Matt can use the chaos to suggest that Adam caused the whole disaster if Adam is the one trying to save him and Sharon and Noah are still chained up nearby. This story feels like a murder setup even before the last blow falls. Matt is making a case as well as a trap. Adam is in a bad situation where every choice is bad, which is sad for him. He sees that Nick is pulling away and knows that the brothers can't take Matt on while Nick is falling apart. He sees the mission failing and tells Nick to keep going. But when Nick crashes, Adam is the only one left standing next to him. That's where Matt's plan gets its power. A man who was trying to help can suddenly look like the one who hurt the victim. In a place like Genoa City, that kind of uncertainty can be deadly. The framing risk is even worse because of the bigger rescue story. The recap from April 24th says that Matt is already teasing Sharon and Noah and talking like a man who thinks he can choose who dies first. Earlier spoiler coverage says that he messed up Nick and Adam's plan by using stolen phones to get Sharon and Noah to leave safety and walk into the trap. That means Matt has already shown that he can change the story in real time. If he can use their plan to save them against them, he can definitely use Nick's collapse against Adam later. The scariest thing that could happen is that Matt tries to blame everything on Adam right after Nick dies. Matt has already lied about what happened to Nick. A recent summary said that he said Nick died from an overdose before the truth had even settled. If Nick looks dead at the warehouse and Adam is seen giving him pills or standing over him when he falls, that video could be enough to make a murder story. Not because it's true, but because Matt wants it to look like it has to happen. That's why the spoiler title, Nick Dead in Cold Blood as Matt's evil scheme makes Adam the killer, feels so dangerous even as a joke. It does a better job of showing how the story makes you feel than the facts. Matt's plan is cold. The death, if it happens, is meant to seem cold and planned. Adam's role is weakened because he has to make a bad choice under pressure. Nick's condition makes him weak enough that a mistake could lead to a murder charge later. It's not just about staying alive. When Matt is the one holding the camera, it's easy to change survival into murder. There is also a sad family part to all of this. The weekly spoilers say that Adam comes in later looking shaken, and Chelsea asks right away where Nick is. That means the emotional fallout is already happening before the truth is even fully clear. If Adam has to face Chelsea after Nick dies and Matt has been able to change the evidence to make it look like Adam killed his brother, Adam could be grieving and having to defend himself against the claim that he killed his own brother. That kind of accusation tears the Newmans apart and never really goes away. Nick's story isn't clean either, which makes the drama even more intense. He has been making bad decisions, on the verge of addiction, and trying to get by when his body is telling him to stop. That doesn't mean he helped Matt. It makes him the easiest target for Matt. Matt is the real bad guy because he is the one who is making things worse, either literally or in other ways, and then using the fallout as a weapon. Nick may have helped make things worse, but Matt is the one trying to turn that into a death sentence and a murder frame-up. Adam's biggest fight this week may not be saving Nick right now if the spoilers are right. It might be getting through the story Matt tells next. The warehouse falling down, the hidden cameras, the planted drugs, and the chaos of the rescue all point to the same bad end. Matt wants Adam to be stuck in a version of events that makes him look guilty when Nick goes down. That is the real bad thing about this plan. Not just death, but also the plan to make the wrong man wear it. So when everything is said and done, the question won't just be if Nick lives. Before Matt turns a crisis into a murder charge, Adam will have to show that what really happened. Right now, everything is happening. Nick is falling apart, Sharon and Noah are still stuck, Matt is watching everything, and Adam is the only one left to take the blame if the truth gets buried in too much chaos. That's how a nightmare turns into a scandal in The Young and the Restless. And this one looks like it will leave blood on everyone's hands. Matt lets Noah and Sharon die and Victor hits Phyllis hard. Genoa City is having one of those weeks like The Young and the Restless, where the danger doesn't stay in one story for long. Sharon and Noah are stuck in Matt Clark's grip in Vegas. They are chained up and can't get help while Matt makes it clear that he is done playing games. Victor Newman is putting more and more pressure on Phyllis Summers back home with false AI evidence, paid-off testimony, and a legal threat that looks less like a warning and more like a full-scale declaration of war. The end result is a week full of fear, leverage, and the kind of revenge that keeps everyone on edge. The story Matt tells is by far the darkest. The summary shows him going into the room where Sharon and Noah are tied up and saying that no one will ever find their car. He doesn't make it easier or act like there's a way out. He says he's going to let them die instead, and he even tells them how. The summary says that he tells Sharon that hypothermia will kill them before starvation does. That's not just mean. It is a planned, cold-blooded death sentence given with complete control. Matt's framing of the punishment makes the scene even more brutal. He keeps bringing up Noah's betrayal, saying that Noah slept with his wife and that the Newmans always get what they want. Sharon begs him not to involve her son, and Noah tries to say he's sorry, but Matt doesn't want to hear it. He says it's sweet, that they are willing to give up their lives for each other. And then he tells them that one of them needs to die while the other watches. That line is when the hostage story really starts to get scary. Matt doesn't act like a man who has lost control, which is why it hits so hard. He is acting like he already knows how it will end. He doesn't just want to scare Sharon and Noah. He wants to break them down emotionally before the physical threat is even over. The recap says he leaves them chained together without food or water, which means they are really in danger right now. He has already set up a bad end for them even though he is leaving. The title "Matt leaves Noah and Sharon to die" is more than just a dramatic headline at this point. The recaps show him actually doing it. He tells them that no one will find their car, says he is leaving them there, and then leaves while they try to get free from the chains and the thing they are tied to. Sharon tries to get to a toolbox that is close by. Noah tries to keep hope alive by saying that Matt is using them to get Nick and Adam to come to him. But right then all they can do is wait and fight the panic. The situation is getting worse because the rescue team isn't coming in on clean ground either. Earlier spoiler coverage says that Adam is pushing Riza to tell the truth because he doesn't trust her relationship with Matt Clark and wants to know the truth before he makes a move. The April 24th recap shows Adam and Nick on their way to Vegas. But it also shows that Nick is having trouble with withdrawal and isn't quite ready to drive. Adam keeps telling him that he's not okay, and finally he has him pull over, switch seats, and do what you've got to do to be able to drive. That means the rescue is already a risky and shaky operation before they even get to Sharon and Noah. Then comes the bad payoff. When Adam finally kicks in the door to Matt's hideout, gun drawn, he and Nick get to Sharon and Noah just as Matt's trap is about to go off. The Monday recap says that they find Sharon and Noah in the desert. While they are arguing about how to free them, Nick passes out in front of them. The story makes that collapse seem like a direct result of everything going on around him. The pressure from Matt, the withdrawal, the panic, and the frantic race to save the people he loves. That collapse is important because it makes everyone in the room weak at the same time. Sharon and Noah are still tied up. Adam is working to set them free. Nick is out. And Matt is driving through the desert and watching the aftermath on remote CCTV. The recap even shows him checking the scene on his phone, which means he gets to see the chaos he caused up close. He doesn't have to be there in person to keep the threat alive. The damage he has already done makes the rescue feel more like a race against time than a win. When Victor thinks someone has crossed him, he does what he does best. He tightens the screws and makes it look like choice when it is really pressure. The April 24th recap says that Victor and Victoria find Phyllis at Summer's conglomerate and laugh at her while making her an offer she can't refuse. When Phyllis reminds them that Victor hurt her last time, Victoria threatens to give the district attorney proof and tells her that Cricket is coming into the office. It is clear what the message is. Do what they say or face serious criminal charges. Phyllis knows that the evidence is fake. She tells them that the evidence they have is false and won't stand up in court. But Victor's side is counting on more than just the file. The summary says that they have paid off the heads of divisions who will say she did it. And Victoria says that they have proof that Phyllis used AI illegally to plot against them. That is why the hammer falls so hard. Victor is more than just angry. He is making a case even though it's not very good, and he's doing it with enough force to make Phyllis feel like the walls are closing in. The emotional twist is that Phyllis won't play the victim role they want her to. She fights back, reminding them that they drugged and kidnapped a man, and she won't let them act like they're right just because they have papers in their hands. But Victor and Victoria are still ahead. Victoria tells her that the truth is whatever Christine says it is, which means the legal threat is real. It is part of a bigger plan to make the district attorney the last line of defense. This week Victor's hammer feels especially heavy. He is not just threatening Phyllis in a fight. He is making her an offer that is hard for her to refuse, with threats of jail time and a system of paid-off witnesses to back it up. According to the soap opera news recap, Victor is clearly in charge, and if Phyllis makes one wrong move, everything could go wrong for her. He is not looking for a middle ground, in other words. He wants you to give up. The two storylines are very different from each other, which makes the week exciting. Matt is using open cruelty, real chains, starvation, and the threat of death. Victor is using fake evidence, corporate and legal power, and the threat of jail time. One of the captives must watch the other die, according to one man. The other person says that Phyllis can choose how bad the fallout gets, but only from the options he has already given her. Different kinds of weapons. Same desire for complete control. It's also sad that both men think they're winning. Matt thinks he has Sharon and Noah right where he wants them, And the recap shows that he leaves the hideout with the confidence of a man who thinks that hypothermia and starvation will do the work for him. Victor, on the other hand, acts like Phyllis is already trapped, even though she is still fighting back. Both men are betting that the other side will give in first. Both are willing to wait and let fear do its work. Sharon and Noah's most important goal right now is to stay alive. The recap says that after Matt leaves, they have trouble with the chains, and Sharon even tries to get a toolbox with her foot because no one knows where they are. Noah doesn't believe that they were left behind by accident. He thinks that Matt is using them to get Nick and Adam to come to him. That idea adds a cruel extra layer to the scene because it means that Matt's leaving doesn't mean the danger is over. It might even be getting ready for the next step. Phyllis's problem is whether she can survive a legal and business attack long enough to keep what she has built. Victor and Victoria are not lying when they say the accusations are serious. The recap says they have already decided to give her evidence if she doesn't do what they say. That means Phyllis is fighting more than just a boardroom battle. She is fighting to avoid the kind of public shame and legal trouble that could ruin her whole career in one fell swoop. By the end of the day ahead material, we can see how the week will go. Matt has left Sharon and Noah chained up, hungry and waiting to die. Nick and Adam are on their way, but Nick's collapse shows how weak the rescue really is. Victor has put Phyllis in a tight spot with fake AI evidence, witness tampering, and a threat from the DA. And since this is Genoa City, none of it stays separate for long. One crisis leads to another, and those in the middle have to choose between panicking and fixing the problem. The real horror of this spoiler week is that Matt isn't just threatening death. He's also making people feel hopeless. Victor isn't just threatening Phyllis. He's making her do what he wants. Sharon, Noah, and Nick are all in the middle of it, trying to stay alive in a story that keeps getting darker with every move. If Matt really does leave Noah and Sharon to die, the rescue will come too late for the emotional damage to go away. If Victor really does go after Phyllis, the effects could last long after the fake evidence is found out. That's how a crisis turns into a war in The Young and the Restless.